Quick hand for Joe Wardy. Okay, so welcome everyone. Thank you again for coming to our inaugural 1 Million Cups event here in El Paso. My name is Ernesto Gamboa. I'd like to first recognize the other organizers here on the committee. Art Terrazas, wait real quick. Brandon Walter. Jose Carrillo. And Lopez, who we already had introduced. Lilia Sanchez, who I don't believe is here with us today. No. And Nancy Lowry, again, back here is our really making this possible. So with that, we have a real quick, short introductory video.
Over the years, we've added more cities. It creates a great energy here to see what's happening across the country.
What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable. Sitting in a room with other people that have ideas too, it helps people to really think, you know what, my idea is worth something. It's worth pursuing. It's worth going after it. Even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.
Did anybody not hear that? We can play it again. It's pretty short. Yes? Let's do it one more time. Sorry about that. We got it.
One Million Cups is a weekly educational program developed by the Kaufman Foundation.
Over the years, we've added more cities. It creates a great energy here to see what's happening across the country.
What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable. Sitting in a room with other people that have ideas too, it helps people to really think, you know what, my idea is worth something. It's worth pursuing. It's worth going after it. Even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.
Okay, so who's here for the first time? Can you get a quick show of hands? Pretty much everybody. So, what is 1 Million Cups? It's there's an organization called the Kaufman Foundation, which in my humble opinion is the premier foundation that supports and promotes entrepreneurship in the U.S. And so the goal is to help entrepreneurs build a community. It's a weekly program where you'll hear from 2 entrepreneurs tell their entrepreneurial journey, their trials, their tribulations, lessons learned, challenges they're facing, things like that. Then the most important part is at the end, we have a 15-minute Q&A where the audience gets to ask them questions, provide feedback. That's really the biggest part of the value add. So please, as you keep coming to these events, please make sure that you are doing that, participating, asking those questions, providing that feedback to our presenting entrepreneurs. So before we start, we'll give a real quick shout out to our sponsors. We've already talked about pickupcoffee, and it's important to point out it is www.pickup.coffee. Coffee is actually the domain name, pretty cool. And real quick, everybody's already told you how good it is. I never drink coffee black. This coffee I drink black. It's that good. And then our venue sponsor, of course, the Hub of Human Innovation, where we are today. And please go to 1millioncups.com and download the app and participate in that. And with that, and check in. With that, I'm going to bring up our first presenters, the Canyoneers.
Beautiful day out tonight today.
Isn't it, Hugo? Look at the beautiful scenery.
I know, look. I wish there was some animals we could see though.
I know, I feel like we've been hiking for about 2 miles now. We still haven't seen anything.
Oh well, let's keep going. What?
Look, Hugo. Do you have a camera?
I think what's in my backpack?
We can't hear you.
Can you speak up, please?
Yes.
Hugo, I think I have the camera. Do you have one?
I think so. It might be in my backpack. Let me get it.
Hurry.
I don't know where it is.
I think I have my phone.
Oh, some drop this.
It's dead. Hugo.
What?
Hugo, hurry. Hugo, it's gone.
Alright, where's it?
It's gone. You missed it.
And my phone cracked.
Well, Well, good morning. My name is Vanessa, Saavedra. We are a group of engineering leadership students at the University of Texas at El Paso. And today, I hope you enjoyed our little skit. It kind of gives you an insight on what we'll be talking about today. So we are part of a human-centered design course, and we are definitely doing hikers as our people group.
So my name is Hugo Rico.
I'm Calena.
And my name is Espejo, and we're the Canyoneers.
So throughout the 4-month semester, we were able to conduct 143 interviews. And in these interviews with specifically hikers, we learned about their needs, we learned about their struggles, and we were able to identify a product that we are interested in building for these hikers.
All right, so we ended up deciding on some hiking poles, but first of all, we had to figure out what matters about a hiking pole. So first off here, you can see here, we came up with these categories. The top 3 things that matter are durability, the weight of the hiking poles, and the comfort. Obviously, you don't want them to break on you. You want them to be pretty nice and comfortable when you're using them. And obviously, they got to be lightweight. So then we were thinking, what else can we add on top of hiking poles to make them more unique, to make them special? Because there's a million hiking poles out there, right? So we came up with these additional features here on the left side, the colored bars there. Our first idea was a selfie stick kind of setup, just a camera mount. But we also came up with 2 additional things that came up. Our interviewees told us that were even cooler ideas. Were a flashlight and a charging station, a portable charger to keep stuff charged up. So again, this is all stuff that our interviewees told us, and this is stuff that they want.
So we did the 3 different archetypes for our people group. The one that we decided to go forward with is our laid-back Lucy archetype. So this type of person, usually 20s to 30s, they don't have a lot of time to go hiking, but they do definitely find time more of a hobby. But when they do go hiking, the scenery is important to them. Taking pictures is what's important to them. That's what they enjoy doing while they go on hikes.
And so the value that we're providing to our customers is captured through our business thesis. So for hikers who struggle to use their phone while hiking, our integrated hiking pole with phone mount will enable hikers to capture their experience in real time by allowing them, by safely securing their phone and providing extended battery life.
So through this past semester, we created 3 prototypes. The first one here is a proof of concept where we basically just taped a selfie stick to a hiking pole and we took it out ourselves and used it, and were able to identify some things that maybe we needed to change. In this second one you see here, we used it for usability tests. So we took off the button and mounted it to the top where we felt maybe it would be most important for the hiker to be hands-free, and we mounted the stick to the top of the pole. In this phase, we had the customers or our hikers actually try it out and give us feedback on what they liked, what they didn't like. So from these 2 phases, we were able to learn a few things. One of the biggest ones being that instead of having 1 pole, we needed to have 2 poles. So from the weight of the phone on the hiking pole, it was kind of like an imbalance when you were actually hiking. So we decided we needed to have 2 poles. This is also where we integrated the charger. And again, the button is still here at the top to be used by the hiker.
So then the specs for the poles, for now we're just calling them the Canyoneer poles. So the size of them is pretty standard. The minimum length is 40 inches, a little over 3 feet. Maximum length for use is 55 inches, a little under 5 feet. Collapsible length, so in case you want to shrink it down or anything like that, will be 31.5 inches. It's going to be made out of aluminum because it's good high-strength stuff. The case material for your phone, for protecting, is just going to be a plastic case with a bit of rubber on it to help reduce vibration issues and damage to your phone if you drop it or something. The grip is going to be a standard rubber grip, so ergonomic and again, good for your comfort. And then the weight is going to be about 1 pound, 5 ounces, plus the phone when you put it on top and the charger should you add it. And then the flashlight, we figured your phones already have like the flashlight option. You can just turn that on. It's a bit low power, but it takes care of you when you need it. So that takes care of that.
So this is moving forward, our competition that we potentially see. To your far right, you see a standard price for hiking poles. There are more expensive and definitely cheaper ones, that's on average. And over here to the left in the middle, you see definitely our competitors. So the prices are below, but the difference between theirs and ours is going to be that these are attachments And also, to use these, you have to stop hiking, take out the attachment, turn over the pole, put it at the bottom, and then you could use it. So that kind of defeats the purpose that we're trying to target here. We're trying to give a hands-free experience for our customer segment.
So on behalf of the Canyoneers, thank you to the Hub for inviting us to present, and we welcome your feedback.
Okay, now we have our 15-minute Q&A interactive with the audience. So we already have our first. Gary.
I'm curious if you have filed a patent to protect the ideas that you come up with?
We have not, actually. So it started off as a project in our class, and we didn't think that we would actually get this far to where it's definitely something that we're looking into.
And this semester we're actually continuing the project, and this semester we're learning more about like the business aspects of it. So I think later on, hopefully during the semester, that's something we can definitely explore.
So what is the next step you're going to do with this, with your project?
So actually, all right. So some of the feedback here, this is actually a video that we couldn't quite queue up here, but we're hoping to maybe, well, we've already migrated the button, maybe have it on top and on the side just for more use, more hands, more usability for your hands. The other thing is, if we do set up the charger, maybe instead of just having it like on the side like we have right here, having it maybe inside the pole or in the grip, just so it's more, so it's not in the way, and just more use there. Of course, the phone mount to make it a little bit more, just so you can take this off, but also it's more secure, just more ways to pursue that. And of course, the case for the phone, because right now it's just the mount, you just stick your phone in there. It's to weatherproof it and protect it more, and just see where we go from there.
So we're still conducting interviews, like approximately 10 each week, where we're trying to get more feedback to see how we can make it better.
So when you put up the 3 price ranges on the screen, I missed it. Did you tell us what your price is?
No, so we actually haven't solidified on the price. So these are just prices, just poles by themselves, and just the attachments itself. So using, definitely going more into like the price range of what other poles are costing for, and we want to keep it around the same range. We haven't actually decided on that. So what we're working on moving forward now is definitely our business model. How much is it going to cost us to create it? How much can we sell it for? And how much would people actually be purchasing this? So we're going to be working on that.
Follow up to that, to Gary's question. You're all familiar with Melissa Silverstein, I hope. Need to be.
Okay.
She is a patent attorney.
They actually,
oh, good.
Yes.
Yes.
So can you describe what the social media campaign will be about?
We haven't actually looked into the whole marketing side of it yet. You know, this is like this semester is where we actually focus on the business plan, and so it's really like the 3rd week of school. So we
we're going after that.
Yeah, but we have been utilizing social media as far as like our own social media to reach out to other people, to other hikers. We've definitely looked into other like social hiking groups that people like meetups, that's what they call them, to get a hold of these people. So that'll kind of, I think, definitely be a starting point where we can start to look for these kind of users.
Do you have an idea of what size your market is?
Actually, yes, we were looking this up, and let me see what the numbers were. There were visits to national parks. There was about 280 million visits to national parks in 2015. And then hikers, as it was, I pulled up the number. There was about 44 million people going out hiking, and this was spring in 2016. So, and we've actually found our goal is to try to hit a little bit more. How do I say it? People who go out hiking more frequently, but still like taking pictures and things like that, and that's a pretty sizable market. And a lot of people do like using hiking poles, even if they haven't thought about buying one. They like hiking with them in the first place. So we can probably tackle that market in the future when we start thinking more about that.
Right. Just to follow up on that, so we have 3 customer segments. We have casual hikers, intermediate hikers, and advanced hikers, and we feel that the casual hikers is the best market. Each segment has its market of its own, but we feel the casual hikers is the best market because those are the ones that take pictures the most. and we feel would actually benefit the most from our product. But with that market, we would actually come up with a different revenue stream than we would for the other like customer segments. So for example, maybe like a usage fee for them to rent it out, because since they don't go hiking as much, maybe they don't want to buy it, but they want to rent it out when they go hiking.
Yes.
How geographically diverse are the people from whom you solicited feedback to your product?
So we've actually done, the majority of them are here from El Paso, but I was actually able to reach a couple people in Colorado as well. So we got a couple feedback, not just, because here in El Paso we don't get a lot of snow and stuff, but in Colorado they do. So hiking poles are essential in Colorado because you use them for stability. So we definitely have a people group here in El Paso since we are surrounded by mountains and a lot of people go hiking in El Paso, but we have reached out to people in Colorado, and I think I also got one in California. So we're trying to reach out farther by utilizing, just asking them they have any other friends that are interested or that they go hiking with.
And if I can follow up on that also, so a lot of these hikers, even who are local, they go hiking as far as the Appalachian Trail. So they go all over the country, even some out of the country to go on these hikes. So we're getting a pretty diverse group that give us a lot of feedback on different areas that they've been and what they encounter based on those different geographic areas.
How would you try to sell it? Online? Get into a store?
Well, these are all options, but again, we're trying to think about that like this semester. That's the whole plan, is to work towards that. I mean,
I think really that depends on the customer segment. You know, so for casual hikers, we probably market it online or preferably in person if you want to charge a usage fee. But if we're targeting intermediate hikers, then more likely in person so that they can test it out before they can.
More brick and mortar.
So it's definitely something we'll explore.
Have you thought of building a company around this product, like, or adding other things? Or are you looking to sell this concept to like GoPro or LLB?
Well, this started off as a class project, and we thought like, hey, let's make a thing and see like how, like, let's see if we ace the class, and now we're here. So, so we're trying to figure it out. As this is very. We're figuring out as we go. We're building as we go. Like right now, maybe this we might expand to just different types of hiking poles, maybe different types of attachments. Maybe you know, like the Apple way, like release an additional edition and then make a better one the next year or something. You know, just we're figuring out as we go. And then yes.
I guess I have a few questions. My main question right now is that, so you guys are students, you guys came up with this idea, went out and found a target market, did some research, and found this idea from doing your research. You're like, this is what our consumer needs. And now you're dealing with new problems, a whole new semester, trying to figure out what you're going to do now that you've found this product. I feel like your objective was to see if there was something that you could offer the consumer. What are your objectives now? What are the main things that you're going to have to deal with this year that you're having problems, that you feel are going to be more work or problems or things that you need support with?
I think it's really understanding our market and really understanding as far as like the cost maintenance to create the product, the cost maintenance to actually put it out there, and then how much are we actually going to be getting back in like rate of return. More of the business side of it. So we are like engineering students. Our natural thing is to just build something, figure out, make it work. So we're definitely going out of our element to understand how to sell this product. But we are utilizing still our customers in the sense that we are continuing our interviews, but we're solidifying exactly what they want. Because we kind of have this idea of like, you can add all these attachments, you can add all of these things, but what is it that the customer is really looking for? So that when they go to the store and they want to purchase it, they're going to be like, I need this product. So it's definitely honing down on our finalized, what we're actually going to be selling, and I think understanding the money side of it, or the business side of it, and how to pursue that effectively.
Someone in the back, you wanted to.
Thank you very much. Incredible presentation that you did today, but I was sitting here and thinking how this could be expanded just a little bit more
thinking of myself, who is not necessarily a hiker, but would be a walker, and a walking pole that would have a greater diverse use. I really think it's a really neat idea, and I think we all have those cameras and we all want to capture everything. And so I hope that you will take that and think about expanding into one other area. So your 20 to 30 population could really go like up to even 60s or further. And I think how cool it is, I mean, I'm sure one day I will be using a cane, but if I had a walking stick, I would be so much better. So, as a retired educator, I give you an A on your project.
Okay, a couple of kind of comments. I mean, I like it too. My issue to say, my wife would buy like this and play cookies on the shelf. And be no brainer for her. And from the tech side, since I do a lot of tech work, if you guys wanted to take it one step further, you could just link it to your phone over Bluetooth. All the software is on the shelf.
Yeah, exactly.
And the phone stays in the pocket, stays lightweight, and the camera can go in.
Yeah, lots of things we gotta. This was like super prototyping. We're figuring out. So, yeah. Thanks. Let's go to the far back and then work on.
I really like your product, and I think it's a great idea to take it out to a different market. My question for you guys is, on your prototype, have you had a batch out to your customers to test it for a month or for 2 months and feedback on that, or is this just going back and asking them what they think of the product so far? Is there an actual batch on a beta?
No, so this is actually the only prototype that we have, that's the latest. But we did do that one usability test that we showed you right now that we couldn't pull up the video, but we did have like one of our interviewees actually go out and test one of our prototypes. Mm-hmm. But that is one of the objectives that we have for this semester, as well as develop the business plan.
I would recommend highly that you guys do a small batch and just send it out to the customers, because it really gives a better feedback on that.
Absolutely. Thank you. As it is, because we're still pursuing interviews. We've recontacted some of our old interviewees that like to hike a lot, and they're open to like coming back to talk to them, and they can try out our idea and see if they like it, and again get more feedback on what we should add, what we should take away, what we're gonna adjust. So we're definitely working on that. For now, this is a one, but we're absolutely gonna pursue more in that direction too. Yes, sir.
Great job, guys. So does this project occur every year with the same in the same class?
Yes. So, yes. So the class is called People to Products, in the fall, and then in the spring, right now, it's called Products to People, because it starts off, figuring out your target market and, like identifying the common need that they have, and then this semester is focused on developing the business plan. But it's actually a class that's in the 3rd year of the engineering leadership program. And for those of you who don't know what engineering leadership is, it's a brand new engineering degree that's starting at UTEP. We have our first graduates scheduled to graduate this upcoming spring. And it's a revolutionary new engineering degree because it's multidisciplinary. It also focuses on business acumen and innovation. So.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned the charger. I'm sure you've explored solar chargers. Is that something that's feasible, or?
Well, there was a whole bunch of them.
We actually had a bunch of different ideas. I think essentially to just get it out to validate our idea of a charging pole. It was easier to just get a rechargeable, but we thought about a kinetic charger, we thought about a solar charger, and different things. So we do definitely, we're not sure we want to keep it on the outside because it kind of gets in the way. We're thinking about if once we do develop our own poles, about embedding it into the actual pole.
And one thing we did find through feedback is that a lot of these hikers, they go hiking on cold, cloudy days. So the sun isn't readily available to charge the solar panel, and solar panels are kind of sensitive. And with the use that you have, using them, maybe dropping them, it might break, it might be something we can definitely look into, but something that we've got some feedback on that maybe might not be the best.
Have you considered actually offering pre-orders to the people that you go and interview? That seem pretty excited about.
We'll see once we start talking to them. Because there was already a guy that Yeah, there's a guy, his name's Gary, like a super outgoing guy. He hikes like all the time now. He was already really into our idea first of all. He was our first guy we contacted, and we're planning to go talk to him either this week or next week and like go out hiking with him again, showing him the thing. And I mean, if he wants to do that, then that'll be great. But we'll find out.
One last time, have you considered also, this seems like a product that might do well with crowdfunding, like on something on Kickstarter. That might be something that not only can get you money, and if not money, can get you a lot of attention from people who are, just always on the lookout for the newest things. Because that's where the early adopters are. They're all on Kickstarter.
Thank you.
Have you thought about putting a tripod that you can push a button and the tripod, the prongs?
That was actually one of our initial ideas. The reason that I guess we didn't go with it is to eliminate weight. And it's because after looking and interviewing people, they said weight is very important to them because you don't always use your hiking poles when you go hiking. Sometimes you want to just collapse them and put them in your pack. So adding more weight, that's kind of where you have to distinguish what's more important. But I know that was definitely one of our initial ideas, but we had kind of geared away from that.
In the interest of staying on time, I think we have time for one more question. That was the lady in the back, sorry. But we will have time to network and you can mingle with them afterwards. So yes, last question please.
So how many of you guys had hiked before you started this project?
That was kind of why we chose hikers as our audience, as our market, because we wanted an excuse to go out hiking more. I think Vanessa was the most serious hiker in our group. I had hiked a decent amount here in the mountains, like locally, but I mean nothing new, nothing too great, nothing too frequent or anything. But that was also kind of why we did it. We just wanted to go out hiking more and have an excuse to go outside. Because we're engineers, we live inside. So.
And I think because we didn't know the people group too well, we didn't want to go in with like preconceived ideas of what they actually needed. So not many of us being regular hikers was important to us because we wanted to make sure that we weren't biased going into this project.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
The last question, very important, and now it's for Canyoneers. What can the community do to help you at this point?
Talk to us.
Talk to us. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely think your feedback and everything that we've talked about here, we take everybody's feedback into consideration, and it always helps us to move forward in what we're doing. And especially being new into learning the business acumen and the entrepreneur side of things is definitely beneficial. All the feedback that we get from you all.
Okay, well, thank you very much. There you go. Hey, again, great job, Canyoneers. I don't know about you all, but I wasn't inventing things, doing product development, and starting businesses when I was in college, so that's fantastic, very impressive. Okay, as we transition between our presenters, a few quick community announcements. I would like to announce the Paso del Norte Venture Competition and Expo, which will be in March. Pitch competition. The deadline to apply is February 10th. For more information, please see any of the Hub folks. And also the Hub will be hosting a Shift Customer Discovery Program starting February 28th. As you just heard from the Canyoneers, customer discovery is vitally, vitally important for anybody on an entrepreneurial journey. Yes, Dr. I'm sorry? Absolutely.
And along the same lines, it looks like UTEP will be able to offer its regional I-Corps program again this spring. So if you want to be qualified to go to national, this will let you do it, and it's been a really valuable program. So look to the Loya Center website for information on doing I-Corps, probably in April.
David, you might mention what goes with I-Corps.
Well, no free coffee mug, but so I-Corps is the regional is about a 10-11 day program, 2 on-site workshops, instructors from the regional node in Austin, and you'll do, I think, I'm trying to remember how many customer interviews. 20. Thank you. And you get it, and your team will get feedback from the instructors. And the cool part is, because it's an NSF-sponsored program that provides NSF lineage that qualifies you to do the National I-Corps program, which is extremely valuable. So anyway, if you need more information, contact me at the Loya Center, or just look to the Loya Center website. I'm hoping to have the schedule up within about 2 weeks. Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you, Dr. Novik. No problem. Real quick, I'd like to recognize a couple other folks that showed up that are here that I think should be recognized. Richard Deub and Minda Villarreal from the Greater Chamber. And Lauren Bowen from City Economic Development. I don't think we're here. Okay, now we'll have a drawing for a 1MC mug, 1 million cups mug. So let's see, and if you didn't put your business card in here, that'll learn you for next time. So Leonard A. Goodman III.
All right.
And then we have a drawing for a pickup.coffee t-shirt. And Savannah Wilburn. Okay, and with that, we'll bring up our next presenter, Metropia.
Switch the slides manually. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tania Chozet. I'm the community manager for Metropia. We are a small startup. We're already launched. We're a traffic reduction app, and we look for non-infrastructure solutions to traffic. So what that means is we're looking for ways other than just building more roads or expanding highways. We're really looking to change behavior. That probably sounds a little lofty. I thought so the first time I heard it, but it's not as crazy as it sounds, and I'll show you why in the next few slides. Okay, next. So a little bit about our story. We're not as new as the Canyoneers. We have about 30 employees. We were founded in 2012. The goal is to get entire communities to work together to reduce traffic. We're launched in several cities, El Paso being our primary market, which I think is very cool. Tucson, Austin, New York, and soon to be Houston. Our founder is Dr. Y.C. Chu, and he's one of the main reasons that I'm here with this company. He's a really cool guy, kind of nerdy, super passionate about traffic. He comes into town and we tried to take him to a Chihuahuas game, and he stood outside and watched traffic literally. Not even joking. He's very hardworking, very serious guy. He lives in Tucson now. He used to teach traffic engineering at UTEP. And so whenever he comes into town, he doesn't want to waste any time, so he takes a Greyhound. And he works the whole time. He's just passionate about traffic. So this is his idea. Next slide. The ideas underlying Metropia's traffic reduction strategy, I'll just try to take you through these really quickly. I think they're really interesting, the rice theory, and so we can go ahead and pull up the YouTube video. And I'll just show about a 5-second clip of it, if we can start at 214. Yeah, let's just forward through. Right about there, okay.
But Catherine is going to be the pacer for the cars. She's going to make sure that the cars only come on the highway as fast as we can make sure they flow through. So I'm the old highway, and Catherine is the new highway. And amazingly enough, by the time we're all still stuck on the old highway, we'll do it again, Catherine. Everybody can get it. We can put twice as many people home in time.
Okay. I just wanted to show you all the concepts. So what I think is really cool about that is you see the same amounts of rice pouring through the funnels. One of them gets stuck because everyone tries to go through all at the same time. The other one flows through because we're trying to make sure that we are we're pacing the traffic. The next theory is the reservation theory, and so a good example of this is at Disneyland. If any of you have been lately, they have, for the really popular rides, a free pass. So they'll ask people to reserve a time in line and come back at that time so they don't have to wait in line so long. And so that's another idea underlying the app is the reservation strategy. And the third is an incentive strategy. Airlines do this a lot when they oversell flights. They'll ask people to volunteer, they'll give them a voucher. And so you're incentivizing people to reduce a little bit of the congestion on the flight. Next slide. Oh, okay. Actually, I don't even know how to use this. Can we just show it? So the strategy basically is, yeah, I'm very highly technical, okay? So these ideas inspired Dr. Chu to manage traffic a little differently, and so his idea is, can we change what time we leave and what route we take? So rather than building out new roads, maybe not everyone has flexibility in their schedule, but some people might, and just shifting a few of those people off of the peak rush hour traffic will make a huge difference. Next slide. So how it works. So this is a little bit about what our app looks like. And our app is free to download. How it works, so commuters will use it to plan ahead. So what we ask you to do is maybe an hour before you leave, reserve your trip. And so what you'll do is just like in a Google Maps, or most of us have used these maps apps, you'll put in your origin, your destination, to and from. And what it does that's different about just regular routing apps is that it'll show you an example. I'm going to move over on this side. It'll show you, for example, depending on what time you leave, how long it'll take you. And this isn't a very good example because if we were leaving at peak rush hour, it might take you 10 minutes versus 20 minutes later. But what the app tries to do is really push people off of peak rush hour, which would be closer to 5. And so the app will be green when there's not going to be a lot of traffic. It'll switch into orange and then later red even when there's a lot of traffic. And it'll give you less points as you move into rush hour traffic. And so what it tries to do is if you have any flexibility in your schedule, 15 minutes, maybe you can leave work early and take a conference call from home, you'll be rewarded with points. And then so what you would do is, once you reserve your trip, say I want to leave, say I can leave 15 minutes later. I'll leave at 3:56, so I would reserve my trip here. And then you would take the recommended route. We have a traffic engineer who really looks at, he takes in a lot of different information about accidents, about closures. That's another thing that makes us different is we have someone who's here locally, full-time dedicated to just putting in traffic into our system. Very fun, but that's what he does, and literally, because some of the closures change hourly, he goes out and drives a lot of that. Or he'll pick up the phone and call someone and say, hey, is that road still closed? So the cool thing is that we really try to focus on the local closures and make sure that, for example, I drive through downtown every day, so I want to make sure that, that I can get through pretty easily. There are a few streets right now, some of you know, that are closed, and so it's kind of a pain to try to just figure out how to get around those closures, so that the app will route you around those closures. And then, so you save time, you earn rewards, and you help the environment. Next I'll show you what you can do with those rewards. Okay, next slide. I already talked about local traffic management. So we have partnerships with local shops, proper print. So we're already driving. It's kind of great because you get rewards and you can exchange it for a $5 gift card from Amazon or Starbucks. You can help local businesses proper print shop. Next slide. And so what we really do is try to get everyone to work together. I mentioned the commuters, the merchants. Coming soon is we're going to be working with employers on flex time and carpooling. And we already work with the agencies. I know the city of El Paso is here. We're soon going to be working with them to expand into Juarez to work on accurate bridge wait times. Next slide. Okay, so I made it here. Okay, can we go ahead and do this now, or do you want to?
Sure.
Okay, so I was asked to come up with ways that the community can help. Like I said, this wasn't my idea, but the reason I'm here is because I really believe in the strategy behind the app. I think it's, you know, all the time we look at, I mean, the main thing that we do usually is look at how to expand roadways, how to build new highways, and I think it's a really smart way to get people to do something that they may have the ability to do, and it helps everyone out. So if you can, this startup has invested in our community. Like I said, we're the main market nationally. We're really working hard. We've got some great partnerships with some of the local agencies here. I mentioned the city of El Paso. We also have a partnership with TxDOT. And so I think that in the traditional El Paso fashion, you know, I would hope that the community would embrace us, because we are really locally grown. Dr. Chu was teaching here at UTEP. I'm from El Paso. Our traffic engineer is from El Paso. He went to Cathedral and then to Texas A&M for engineering, and he's getting his master's at UTEP right now. And so this really is homegrown app. And we are really looking to resolve the local problems here, which are very different from problems in other communities. So what I would ask you all to do is to download the app and to really, really use it. The more people we have adopt the app, the better the congestion is for everyone. And you know, we're already spending so much time in our cars, as I said before, you might as well just get points for driving back and forth, right? And so you don't have anything to lose. And so recommend the app, ask your friends to like us on Facebook, to use the app to try us out. And I really, really, really ask all of you, if you're having problems with the app, there's a help desk within the app. You can go ahead and use that. We have a local person who's answering those questions, resolving those issues, or you can contact us directly, and you'll find our information on our website. And finally, send us new merchants. So we're working with Proper Print currently, Savage Goods, and most recently Eloise, which is not yet in our merchant store. But these are really cool, similar entrepreneurs in our community who are doing a lot to help our local community, and so we want to give back by helping them out and by pushing their products as well. So.
Okay, great. Let's open it up for questions.
Yep.
Is there any thought or discussion about foot traffic? Like, I like to shop at Walmart when there's no one there.
So I don't know about the Walmart example specifically, but we are looking at pedestrian traffic, and we are looking at incorporating cyclists. And so what we would like to do eventually is we would like to enable our app to give people even more points for cycling or for walking. And one of the plans with the bridge project that we're working on currently is to also accommodate pedestrians who are walking across the bridge. So that's in future releases. That will be in future releases. It's not in the app currently, but that's a huge part of reducing traffic and congestion, is getting people not only to walk, to bike, but to use public transportation as well. Okay, yes?
Have you reached out to potential large users like cab companies or Uber users?
We have not reached out to Uber. What we do work with Uber, with some of the Uber drivers. We have them test our app. So they'll give us what we need in order to be able to test our app is data. So before we have anyone using it, we rarely have data to test with. So we will often partner with Uber drivers to use our app so that we actually do have some traffic data to start with. But really that's the next step in the app evolution, is to really go out to large groups of users and see if we can get them to adopt it, because as I said, the more people who are using this, the better the congestion is for everyone. So even if your schedule isn't flexible, if someone else's is, they can take their own car off the road, which makes it better for me. So, yeah.
You talked about changing and shifting human behavior. How does that play in with carpooling and bringing folks together to go?
Yeah, so our app also has a carpool function. It's called the Duo function. And you can get everyone who is carpooling with you. The app will sense when someone else in the car is using the app. And everyone will get points. So that's another way that we try to incentivize getting another car off the road is by, we have that carpool functionality in the app. And so we do also try to encourage people to carpool. We are currently working on our first local employer partnership, so we're trying to get a local employer on board to see if we can help them figure out which of their employees would be able to carpool together. Maybe they can, have contests and see whose department does the most carpooling, get some sort of reward for that. So that's something else we're looking at too.
Would the trucking industry benefit from that?
The trucking industry hopefully will benefit from that. That's a great question. Our partnership with the city of El Paso, we're looking at working with some of the commercial truckers to get them not only to test our app, but eventually to use our app. I know a lot of the commercial trucking companies have invested in their own technology, GPS technology, to figure out what the wait times are, and so we're hoping that our app can bring them a little bit of relief in that we'll be able to give them much more than just their own trucking data. And so we are looking to have them start beta testing a newer version of our app that's going to roll out in Juarez. Yes, back there?
How do you make money?
How do we make money? So we partner with agencies. A lot of agencies have federal dollars that are specifically devoted to non-infrastructure solutions. So, we all know how expensive and how long it takes to build a new highway, to build roadways, what a pain it is when certain exits are closed. And so there is new federal money that looks at non-infrastructure ways to improve congestion and to improve the environment. And so what we do is we try to partner with the agencies on some of those solutions. It's to their benefit to reduce traffic, and it's to the community's benefit as well, so everyone wins. And so those are the monies that we really look at going after.
So, just to follow up, so the individual that gets points, they're not paying you any money.
They're not paying us any money. The app is free.
These agents, these bigger companies that are getting money elsewhere.
Yeah. The other thing I'll just add is that our data is really useful for traffic planning. And so one of the things that we are doing currently with TxDOT is they're using some of our GPS data to help them plan new roadways, plan around traffic. Those of you who are local and who deal with the local traffic know that Paisano has been closed between Executive and Sunland for some time now. And so one of the things TxDOT is doing is looking at the effects of that closure. They're looking to see how much of that traffic went on to Mesa. And they're doing some detailed analysis of northbound traffic on Mesa and southbound traffic on Mesa. One of the things we found is that southbound traffic is really unpredictable. Northbound traffic seems to be fairly predictable. We're not sure why that is. But traffic studies can only be done for a few weeks at a time, and they cost thousands of dollars. This is a great way for them to get a wide range of data from all days of the week, year-round. And so it's beneficial for them in that way too.
With the app, would it be possible to do something like in terms of carpooling, where with the GPS function of the app, people can see who also has the app around them and is able to kind of coordinate through the app in some way, a carpooling?
Yeah, that's definitely that's definitely one of the thoughts for some of the future releases. Right now, it's really about who's in your social circle, so it has to be someone you know, but eventually we would like to make it so that you can, you know, if there's someone who lives on your street, you may not know your neighbor, but you know, they work downtown the same as you, it would be really beneficial. So that's one of the thoughts for some of the future releases as well.
And just to follow up, like, it might be interesting to have hubs in certain neighborhoods, like hub-to-hub flow.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I lived in the Bay Area for a long time, and they have what they call casual carpool. And so every neighborhood has a stop where if you're going across the bridge, you have to pay a toll, but if you have another person in your car, you can get in the HOV lane, and you don't have to pay a toll. And so what people do is they line up and wait for a ride from a stranger. People who are driving pick up a stranger. It's a really interesting concept. But I mean, you know, that idea is out there, and I think that would be beneficial at some point.
How could the towing industry benefit from that, and have you had any metrics pertaining to
the towing industry? You know, that's a good one. I have not heard about the towing industry. I mean, I think that someone who is working for one of those companies, you know, might benefit from using the app because they can get around traffic and get to the car that they're picking up faster. But in terms of specifically gearing something towards the towing industry, I don't think we've thought about that. Do you have any ideas about that?
Yes, and I offer those for now my fee as well.
All right.
No, joking aside, that is a market I think that will be able to benefit from that.
Interesting. Okay, I don't know much about the towing market, so yeah, I'd love to hear more about that.
Tanya, pay coffee, pay
Yeah, Representative Limon.
For full disclosure, I am not an employee of Metropia, but
she should be.
I had the opportunity to meet with Dr. Chu and Mary Beth Stevens when it was first launched, or was about to be launched. And so we sat in my office, immediately we downloaded the app, and I can tell you, I have become one of the greatest users of Metropia. It's
that is not an exaggeration.
On, and then I get in and out. But let me share one thing. I was a little bit leery when I logged in from home coming to the office, and it gave me a different route from the one I've taken for years. And it cut time and congestion for me. It just took me a block over and down by the hospital. It made all the difference in the world. And so finally I got my husband hooked on it, do it, and so you discover new routes. And really, you know, somebody asked who pays for this? Well, I don't know who's paying for it, but I can assure you I've gotten numerous $25 gift cards to Amazon.com.
Yeah,
so,
that is not an exaggeration.
Okay,
It really
sharing
has.
that point.
Thank you, Representative Limon. And I just want to acknowledge one of my teammates, Mary Beth Stevens. She's an advisor to Metropia. She's actually really the person who spoke the gospel to me, and the reason I'm here now. And so I just wanted to acknowledge her as well. And as Representative Limon said, you know, we do have a lot of really dedicated users. And the reason they use it is because it works. But you know, if you have any suggestions, you know, as I said, we're local, please reach out to us because there are always ways that we can make the app better. So, you know, we launched officially in October and we're still improving our systems. So it's not like we launched and everything was perfect. You know, we're still improving our systems. But the more people use it, the more people reach out to us and let us know, you know, ways that we can improve, the better we are. And we really are dedicated to the El Paso community. So I love the fact that we're here. So I hope all of you will go and check us out, download us for free, and get your free gift cards. Not too many though.
Since you've used it a lot more than all of us have, how reliable do you think it is? I'm a big fan of Google Maps, and
Google Maps last night failed me because it missed all the construction on Stanton.
Yep.
So it just threw me off. Like
There you go. So, okay, so you all heard it here first. Google Maps is not perfect. So give us a try. We really are working very hard. We have a local engineer who's out, actually, he's out testing right now, which is why he's not here. But we really work very hard to get all of the local construction in. So I use it downtown every day, and it's actually pretty good. The closures change quite regularly, and we really do try to keep up. So I would say it's probably about 80% there on any given day in terms of the closures.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question.
Yeah.
Have you looked into crowdsourcing the data for the construction? So for example, your end users, not that I'm promoting driving and using your phone, but if you have a passenger to submit, I'm at a construction zone. So the app Waze allows for that.
Yeah, exactly. So we do have a help desk which allows you to submit any closures. So it's not like we're specifically soliciting that, but the help desk does it does have the functionality so that you can submit a closure. So yeah, that's always great too. The problem with that also though is that the closures might not be accurate all of the time, and so that's why we do have our construction engineer, our traffic engineer who goes around and verifies that the closures are actually there. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Tania, with that. Okay, well, that's the end of our program. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. You don't have to leave. We have some more coffee if you want to stay and network. But again, please do come back. Please invite your friends. Please tell your friends. We're going to be doing this every week. We started early because it was the grand kickoff, and we had some distinguished guests and remarks. We'll be starting right at 9, getting done right at 10. And again, please come back and interact and visit and get the app. So again, thank you all very much for coming. We'll see you next week.